Buenas tardes, buenas noches, whatever you guys are in. But in today's video, we're here again in Southline District, and there's a couple locomotives that were also added to the game. Those include the OKWY SD60s, the regular one and the patch one, Illinois Central GP38-2, the BNSF ES44ACs and a lot of more stuff that we'll be covering today. And that includes the Ferromex one. But today's video is going to be a little bit different, but this is basically like a video saying like the locomotive's history. It show you guys and what was it like, not what was it like, but where are they now, where they're doing today. But yeah, that's all I'm going to be doing. So I'm assuming it's going to be a pretty long video. I'm assuming so, because I mean this is like the beginning of the video, but over time it'll be good. But if it's boring, then I'm sorry. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check those out and tell you all the history behind it. So first off, we're going to check out the Ferromex engines. You may notice that the locomotives models look very different from the other Southline ES44s. Well, that's because they're also on Detour as well. This is Ferromex's old paint scheme, which has been around since its first launch in 1998. That paint scheme was well known in Mexico until Ferromex introduced the Zebra paint scheme in the spring of 2020. I think what's known really is the X on the nose, which is still around in the newer Ferromex schemes. Now let's move on to the history of these ES44ACs of Ferromex. Ferromex acquired the ES44ACs back in 2006 when ES44ACs started to become very popular in the late 2000s. Ferromex bought 60 ES44ACs between the numbers 4660 to 4659, then again in 2007 between numbers 4660 to 4699, which adds up to 40 more. Then they did it again in 2018, which between numbers 4800 to 4849. Since then, they haven't ordered any more GEOs until later 2024 when Ferromex was facing a shortage of locomotives. They ordered 30 more ES44ACs numbers 4850 to 4879. All those locomotives are now painted in the Zebra paint scheme. Oh, I forgot to mention another railroad called Ferromex. Ferromex is a railway owned by Grupo Mexico that runs in southeastern Mexico, operating in the ports of Veracruz and Coatzacoalcos, and the SC line between Veracruz and Mexico City. They only ordered 23 ES44 numbers 4700 to 4722. Now, will they come to Southline? Absolutely not. Anyways, these ES44AC horns have KFIHL raised letters, Narrophons, Narrophon 1-piece, and Narrophon 2-piece. These 1-piece and 2-piece horns can be found in older ES44ACs that were ordered in the 2000s and the 2010s, while the raised letter KFIHL horns can be found on newer locomotives, or specifically on older units depending on the condition of the horn. Here's some odd Ferromex horns that I'm going to show on the screen. All ES44AC horns do not have positive train control since Ferromex doesn't run in the United States. In Mexico, it is not required for trains to operate with PTC. What's interesting about this unit is that the lights at the rear are on the bottom instead on the top. Those were around between the years 2003 to 2006 or 2007. I do not have an answer why they stopped using it and never will know why. Ferromex ES44ACs is also equipped with steerable trucks. Why? Ferromex goes through very harsh conditions like mountains and steep terrain hills. It also helps to navigate through curves as well. And that's basically it of the Ferromex ES44ACs. Next up, the Ferromex EMD SD70ACes. Ferromex ordered 97 SD70ACes from EMD in 2011, numbers 4000 to 4097. Then again in 2015, numbers 4100 to 4133. 19 went to Ferromex, while 15 went to Ferromex, numbers 4119 to 4133. They were also specially designed for tunnel operations as well. These are nicknamed elephant ears. Why did Ferromex design them? Well, in tunnels, they can create a lot of challenges for locomotives. It can increase heat buildup due to its confined space, and it can potentially reduce airflow, which can cause the locomotive to overheat and reduce the efficiency of the locomotive, leading to decreased performances. These units did not last long with Ferrosaur as they went back to Ferromex. Keep in mind, Ferromex and Ferrosaur are sister companies. Grupo Mexico owns the Ferrosaur company while they own 78% of Ferromex. These units are equipped with K5LA raised letters, Narrafon 1-piece, Narrafon 2-pieces. There's not many 1-piece horns, while there's a few 2-piece horns as well, while most have raised letters equipped. Here's some odd horns that are on Ferromex SD70ACes again. All Ferromex SD70ACes do not have any positive train control, except for 4095 and 4096. They're both restricted to working with the Texas Pacific Railroad, also known by Grupo Mexico. These are the only two units in Ferromex's roster that have positive train control. Now let's move on to the Canadian National. The first locomotive is an OKWY SD60, and behind it is a patched CN SD60. Those EMD SD60s were built in 1986 to replace the EMD SD40-2s and a failed EMD SD50, after having major issues with other railroads. 100 were built from numbers 9000 to 9099. These will go on to work with other railroads for lease throughout the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. Eventually, some of the OKWY SD60s will go with another leasing company, GMTX, in the early 2010s. Then in 2012, CN acquired 43 GMTX and 47 OKWY SD60s, eventually going to Canadian National. These will be patched up and will go on to work as patch units for quite a while. All of those units no longer exist as all have been repainted. Most of these units are equipped with new cast P5s, P3s, K3LA raised letters, and Narrafons, and Narrafon 2s. Here are the odd horns that are equipped. The Canadian National SD60s have PTC equipped and some do not. Most of them have exempt PTC that are used for yard switching like what BNSF is doing to their ex-Warbonnet -9s. Here's another unit, an Illinois Central GP38-2, painted in Canadian National. Illinois Central technically still exists as the lettering underneath under the road numbers shows who owns it. Canadian National acquired Illinois Central in 1998 and merged a year later after nearly 150 years of service in the United States. Illinois Central maintains its corporate existence as a non-operating company with Canadian National. These GP38-2s were built back in the 70s as Illinois Central Gulf, then after Illinois Central in 1988. Numbers from 9516 to 9639. These units are mostly equipped with new cast P3s and P5s, and a few K3LA horns. Odd horns were shown on the screen. All units are equipped with positive train control except for 9632 as it is equipped with exempt PTC for yard switching. And finally, the BNSF locomotives. First is the BNSF SD60M Triclops. These units were originally built for Burlington Northern back in the 80s once Y-cabs started to become a very popular design. Burlington Northern ordered 50 Triclops SD60Ms in the 80s from numbers 9200 to 9249. Fast forward to today, BNSF has now 28 SD60 and Triclops left in their roster. All those are no longer in Burlington Northern paint schemes, numbers between 1400 to 1426. The SD60 and Triclops horns are equipped with K3LA raised letters and narrow fines. The only odd horn I can find online is BNSF 1404 that's equipped with a K5HL raised letter. 23 are equipped with full positive train control, while 5 are equipped with exam positive train control. Same reason for yard switching. Next up is the BNSF AC44C4M. Originally, these units were built as dash lines for Santa Fe back in the 90s before the BNSF merger began. These units will have their original road numbers after the merger with their dash 9 war bonded colors until in 2015, BNSF started an AC44C4M program. 21 units were rebuilt as C4Ms, numbers 599 to 619. 599 originally came from BNSF 666. Now, I have no clue why they renumber it, so I got no answer for that. BNSF 616 will work with BNSF for a while until it was sold to WebTech in Erie, Pennsylvania. It is now rebuilt again as an AC44C6M? I don't know, comment down below if I'm correct. Anyways, do you want to play a game which wheel is powered and which is not? Okay, here's a view of set of the AC44C4M. I'll give you a few seconds to log into your answer. Got your answer? Well, here's the answers. The left and right side of the wheels are powered, while in the middle are not. They rather go with 8 power wheels instead of 12 powered AC traction motors because they rather go with cheaper wheels than alternate current traction motors. This will also go on to the BNSF ET44C4s and ES44C4s. These units are not very good for heavier trains like coal trains. While they do well on the intermodal trains, it's just not a good choice for BNSF. Eventually, they shut down the AC44C4M after rebuilding the last unit. They also shut down the ES44C4 program after delivering the ES44C4s in 2020. Anyways, that's off topic. These AC44C4Ms are equipped with K3LA narrow fonts and raised letters, and 2 units with RS3Ls. Here are the odd horns that are on locomotives. All BNSF AC44C4Ms are equipped with positive train control and are still in service as of today. And finally, the BNSF Thundercab SD70ACes. While BNSF ordered the majority of isolated SD70ACes, these units are interesting to see. BNSF ordered 71 SD70ACes numbers 9330 to 9399. These units will go on to be leading throughout BNSF trains throughout their careers. That was until they started to notice something about these Thundercabs. A lot of railroad companies and employees were criticizing the Thundercabs. Why is that? Well, number one, the excessive noise. When that happens, it makes the operations very difficult to communicate with dispatch and your fellow coworkers. And 2, vibration issues. These Thundercab units were known to shake the cab, making the journey very uncomfortable to drive. Keep in mind, these Thundercab units were built in the 2000s, as the SD70ACes were introduced to the world in 2004. Compared to the God, my throat hurts. Compared to the isolated SD70ACes, they do not have any issues with those I've mentioned to the Thundercabs. So, many rather stay in isolated cabs than Thundercabs because of their comfort and better communication. These locomotives are equipped with a lot of horns, K3LAs, K5HLs, and K5LAs, and a lot more. All BNSF Thundercab SD70ACes are not equipped with positive train control. Maybe that's why BNSF didn't add those, because of how uncomfortable these locomotives are. Alright, well, that's it for today's video, guys. Yeah, this is like a long video I had to make. I've been working on this for about 2 weeks. I've been doing a lot of research. I've been doing a lot of, I double check everything before I even speak. So yeah, if I make any mistakes, just comment down below, because everyone makes mistakes. So just let me know if I make any incorrections. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. And if you guys enjoyed what I've been doing, be sure to subscribe to this channel, as we are going to be hitting 700 subscribers. At least we're going like 50 subscribers away. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So y'all have a wonderful day or evening, and take care of yourselves.